Hi, welcome to Kiss in the Kitchen. Today we're going to make a super quick variation on a cheese twist. So we have some ready rolled pastry. We've had it out of the oven for about 5 minutes. We will just unroll it, and as you can see it's very flexible because it's slightly cold still, but it's rolling just as I would want it to. So here we are, which is absolutely brilliant. We are going to, this time, take some pesto. Any pesto you've got at home. I have about 1/4 to 1/5 of a jar left. My flavour is tomato and garlic, chilli, just straight red pesto, green pesto, whatever you've got will be perfectly fine. Just going to get a brush and we're going to brush it all over, and then we're going to add some cheese. Back in a second. Brilliant. So here I am with my pastry brush, and let's brush a pesto all over a lovely pastry. And as we know, pesto generally, well, particularly the green one, is made up of pine nuts and parmesan and I think a little garlic, and I can't remember the other ingredient, but that's pretty much what pesto is. Oh, and I think a little rosemary too, which makes it green. Yeah, I think it's a little rosemary. And some basil, of course. I've made homemade pesto once before, but I would not presume to show you how to do that. But, you know, it was very cheesy. My friend had just come back from Italy with some really great parmesan, and she went, "What are you going to do with it?" I thought, pesto, don't know what you're going to do with yours. Brilliant. So here we are, and that's pretty much the jar empty. So we're now going to get some cheese and spread that on, and then we're going to cut it into strips. Back in a second. So here I am with some grated cheese. I had some mature cheese, but you could use mild, medium, mature, extra mature, whatever you've got really. So I'm just going to sprinkle the cheese over. I do like a nice cheese. Not fancy cheese, this one I just got in the supermarket, so nothing special at all. And this whole dish, in terms of making this in the UK, would probably cost you probably about £2 all in, between the pastry and the cheese. Fantastic. So now I'm just going to, we'll go for relatively fat twists today. So we'll cut into strips, and I'm using the back of the knife just because it's sharp enough, and also because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing. And I do cut this way quite often when I'm cutting pastry, but it is a slightly unnatural thing to do. But because the pastry is relatively cold still, having come out of the fridge in such a short time, it responds very well to being cut, whereas if it had been sat out for maybe half an hour, it would probably respond less well to being cut with the back of the knife. Okay? Brilliant. I'm just going to do some twists and get my baking tray. 1 second. Thanks. So, I have a knife. We're just going to cut our twists in half because the Tupperware box I'm thinking of popping them in isn't so long, and we're just going to do the twists. So quite literally just take, twist, twist and down. that actually is quite a lovely twist. I'm very proud of that one. Some days my twists are not so successful, but those are quite lovely twists. Brilliant. So we'll just do all 16 of these and we'll be done. So I have some egg wash and a brush. We've finished doing our twists, as you can see, and I'm just going to brush them with some egg wash, and we're going to pop them in the oven at about 200, 220 for 15 minutes. We'll say 15 minutes, and then take them out, let them cool for a few minutes, and then maybe cook them for another 7 to 10 minutes, depending how crispy you want them. Some days I like a nice crisp cheese twist, some days a soft one, a softer bite is good. You know, in the same way you sometimes have very hard pretzels and sometimes you have softer pretzels. Brilliant. In case my mother pops by and she really loves these, I might just sprinkle a few of them with some salt and maybe even a little pepper. You know, just to shake things up a bit. Perfect. Okay, so we're off into the oven. So here we are, having been in the oven for 15 minutes. We're kind of crispy, but not as crispy as we might be. I'm thinking we might go in for maybe another 7 minutes and then we'll be done, which will be lovely. So just going to pick us up and pop us back in the oven. So here we are with our final 7 minutes of extra baking time. So we've done the equivalent of a double bake, and if you listen, they sound nice and crispy. So we'll just let them cool and then we'll pack them up. Thank you so much for joining me today with Kiss in the Kitchen, and I'll see you soon, sweetie. Take care.